like, what now? That's like, what now? That's what I say every time. I'm like, what do you want?
Oh my God, it's so cold.
Notice how I didn't.
Last night I dreamed I was a bottle of ketchup and you were mustard. Which is weird because usually you're mayonnaise in my dreams. Why do you suppose that is?
Why are you so big?
I'm from the 8th planet in the Kreplach system where... I'm from Samoa.
Well, all right.
Oh, well, now we know.
Proud to be a man on a day like this.
True that I saw her hair like the branch of a tree, willow dancing on air before covering me, under cotton and calicos, over canopy apple long ago.
Hi, I'm Allison, and these are examples of things healthcare professionals love to tell you to minimize and invalidate your pain and suffering. Let's do this! Like I said, hi, my name's Allison. I have a connective tissue disorder called hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It affects the entire body. I get to go to the doctor a lot. So I've heard these things often. So like they were saying, if you go in for shortness of breath, some of the most popular comments you'll hear are things like, oh, if you were really out of breath, you wouldn't be so colorful. Oh, if you were really that out of breath, you wouldn't be talking to me right now. Oh, if you were that out of breath, you wouldn't have been able to walk in here. And the thing is, like, because I have POTS, right? So when my heart's racing, like, I feel really out of breath. But my oxygen, of course, will be like 100%. So I'm not like out of oxygen, but I'm still like short of breath, right? Because my heart's racing so hard. So I feel like they use very similar comments for pain too. Like, you would not have walked in here if you were in that much pain, or you wouldn't have been able to eat if you were hurting this much. If you were really in 10 out of 10 pain, you'd be screaming and crying and you wouldn't be able to talk to me right now. And the thing they don't realize is that when you have 10 out of 10 pain like every day, you get it tolerant, like you get used to the pain pretty quick. Like, I'll develop new symptoms, new pain, and like within a couple weeks, like, it's just background noise, but it's horrible background noise. Okay. Still 10 out of 10 pain, you know what I mean? But like, you get used to it, and you learn you have to keep living your life. You can't like stop living your life for this pain. So what are you gonna do? You just get used to it. I think that's like the biggest problem, is that when I go to doctors, I always like, I'm like this. Like, I talk nicely, I present myself well, so they think, well, you look so healthy, you look great, like, of course, you don't need anything, you look fine, you know? But that's because I'm used to masking all my pain, all my discomfort, everything I'm feeling right now, which is a lot, okay? I can complain about a lot of things and be mad, but I live with them all the time, and they're just background noise, and I just have to keep living with them, so I digress. Drop in the comments examples of how healthcare professionals have minimized and invalidated your pain and suffering, and follow me for more disability and chronic illness content. Bye!
So everybody put your hands in the air. It's an all-night party that we're getting into. You think it's all over, then the joke is on you.
Wow, you look incredible. I mean, how come you're back to your old look?
What can I say? I missed wearing black.
What's this?
It's an art project.
Okay, I like it. Picasso.
It's wrapped time. Ready? Let's do this. 2023 was a feast for your doctor. You visited them 73 times. You had 104 different symptoms, but one really connected. You complained of dizziness at every single appointment. but you have room in your heart for more than just one. You had nausea every single day. That's 365 days non-stop. But why stop there? Here's a list of symptoms that you had in 2023. Hold up, someone's on the other line. Ring, 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 ring.
That's why I want to tell you. Well, tonight I've done 19. Now I know just what you mean. You can kiss me every.
Alright, so I'm black. Obviously, that wasn't the whole sentence. I'm a black non-binary person that leans towards like a more androgynous or masculine type of expression. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what it's like for me to try to find like a hairstyle that's gender affirming. So like when you look up androgynous hairstyles or haircuts, usually like a mullet or a shack is what comes up. And they're super cute, I like them, but they definitely don't work on like my really tightly coiled hair. But I was like trying to kind of capture the vibe or essence of those types of hairstyles to see if I could like modify it to work for me. And I realized though that what I was trying to capture is that like messiness. And as soon as like that word or adjective came into my head, that I was like, oh, so I can't do it then. Because I remember when I was a teenager and I would straighten my hair and all the girls would do like the messy buns and it looked so cute. I couldn't do it because the thing about messiness on black hair is that it doesn't translate the same way. What is seen as effortless beauty on someone with straight hair or a white person is careless negligence on a black person. That like tidiness is not an option because it's perceived, if we're not tidy and we are messy, then it just our hair's not done. I mean, I've known for a long time that gender expression and the way we perceive it has not accounted for black people or really anyone that isn't white, but it's just really been getting on my nerves and I want to talk about it with someone, but not a lot of people in my life understand the intersection between being black and gender nonconforming. So if you do, hit me up.
Again! Again! Again!
It's too bad, Daria. I always kind of felt you understood the way I think.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little world. Painful to me, it's right through me. Can't you understand? Oh, my little girl. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here. We don't talk about
I've just come back from Tesco and I'm convinced that the majority of the general public does not know how to interact with someone in a wheelchair. So here's a video on what not to do when you see a wheelchair user shopping. Number 1, don't call us an inspiration. I'm just doing my weekly shop. I'm not climbing Mount Everest. I'm just here the same way you are, doing a chore. I'm not inspirational for doing this just because I'm in a wheelchair. So don't say, oh my god, it's so amazing to see you out and about like this, how incredible, because it's really patronising and it's a bit weird. Number 2, if a wheelchair user asks you to get something off of a high shelf for them, that is not an invitation for you to start judging their food choices. I had someone today who got something off of a shelf for me and then started like judging me about it and go, oh, you're going to buy that? That's quite expensive, isn't it? Yeah, it is actually, but I have dietary restrictions and that is the one brand that I can eat, so I know it's more expensive than the other options, but here we are. And finally, the person who is getting the things off of the shelf for the disabled person is not an inspiration or a hero. I had some bloke come over, he helped me get something off of a shelf, all good, he walks off, and some lady comes up to me and goes, oh, it absolutely melts my heart when people do that. What? Get something off of a shelf for someone? I asked him to and he did, like that's nice of him and everything. But he's also not going to get a Medal of Honour for it. It melts your heart. What is your heart made of?
She had to know the pain was beating on me like a drum. She underestimated just who she was stealing from. She's like, so whatever, you can do so much better. I think we should get together.
This is some feedback I got in my Year 5 art book. Effort and attitude. very sensitive worker and did not cope well with anything which was not a total success, became very tearful on occasions if results were not achieved, did not accept defeat lightly. Thank you, Mrs. Price.
One thing about me, I'm gonna have boy breakfast, and then I'm gonna have non-binary lunch, and then I'm gonna have girl dinner all on the same day. And between that, I might have a little genderfuck snack. Done. My 3 balanced meals.
Mwah. No balls.
Looking very gay tonight. Did you mean to look this gay?
I've been teaching for just over 14 years and I've learned something rather important. Now, I will say I do not teach in state schools, I teach in drama clubs, I teach in youth groups, I have taught kids from the ages of 4 all the way up to 18 and beyond that. Now, if a child comes up to me, or a young person says, I want to be called a name other than my name, so maybe it's a middle name or a nickname or some other name, you call them that name. It really is quite simple. If a child says to me, I wish to be called Bert today, I will say, okay Bert, off you go. Simple. It doesn't need to create a great deal of drama. As long as that name is not offensive, then yeah, we just go with it. Because either it's a joke, in which case you commit to the bit and you continually call that child that name until they ask you to stop. And they might sort of sheepishly come up to you and be like, I do not wish to be Bert anymore. And we all have a bit of a laugh about it and it's fun. Or maybe that's a really important thing to that child. Maybe for whatever reason, the name that they were given doesn't feel like their name. Maybe it doesn't resonate with them. Maybe it doesn't make them feel comfortable. Maybe it's the name of a deceased relative that they don't wish to share. Maybe there is an element of gender. This isn't all about gender. As a non-binary person, I really understand not feeling an affinity for the name I was given and wanting to explore and find a different one. And sometimes that is true for young people as well. However, this is more about identity. Learning about your identity is a really key part of growing, and something we do as teachers is create a healthy and trusted, stable learning environment. And part of that learning, it isn't always what's on the curriculum, because sometimes it's just about kids discovering things for themselves. So if they ask me to call them a different name, we vibe with it, we go, we have fun, we trust them to explore that. Some of this video is, of course, in the light of the UK government releasing what I would consider some ill-advised guidance today. Now, I'm not here to talk about that today. If you want me to, I can make a video on it. We can, let me know in the comments, we can break it down. However, I just want to let you know my experience as an educator. Yes, my experience as a non-binary person who's gone through the education system, but also my experience as an educator. I really want to believe these guidelines come from a place of genuinely caring about children's safety and well-being. Unfortunately, experience tells me that that may not be the case. However, support children, listen to children, let them explore, because what's the alternative? Saying to them, no, I will only refer to you by this name that's on your birth certificate. That's never been the case. Most Jonathans I've met have been John and no one has batted an eyelid. And some Harriets have been Hattie, some Samanthas have been Sam, and we've never worried about it, and nor should we be panicking about things now. Okay? Have a great day. If you want me to break down the guidelines in more detail, let me know below.
I'm actually very fun, relaxed, and easygoing.
Something that I really struggle with living with a physical disability is when I use my disability accommodations, I get in my head and feel guilty for doing it, but in a way that's if I stay home from something because I'm having a chronic pain flare up, and then while I'm at home, my pain gets better, I start to feel guilty because I'm not in that much pain right now. I feel like I could have gone out. If that sounds like you, stop beating yourself up. If you're feeling better, it's because you took the time to do self-care things for yourself. If you feel up for going out and doing the thing now, go do it. But 9 times out of 10, that chronic pain flare-up would not have passed to me had I gone to the appointment. When you give yourself accommodations for any kind of disability, allow the self-care to actually help and care for you. That's what it's for. This can sometimes even apply to little things too. If you're having a shit day and your friend like bails on dinner with their mom to come make sure you're okay, and then when they're there, you're feeling loads better, so you feel like maybe I'm a dick. You're probably feeling loads better because your friend's there to support you. Allow yourself to feel cared for by the care you give yourself.